Let's review this assignment where you needed to fill in present time verbs into the paragraph. So the instructions say to complete the paragraph in present time with the correct form of the verbs in parentheses. You will use the simple present or the present progressive tense. You need to think about the meaning of the paragraph to help you understand. Is the verb happening right now? Or is it a fact or a habit? So that is, are you going to use the present progressive for right now or the simple present for fact or a habit? Then also remember that we have non-action verbs. And non-action verbs are kind of like facts where you don't use the present progressive. Okay, so you also need to be careful with spelling when you do these kinds of fill-in assignments, because if you spell it incorrectly, the computer doesn't know what you are trying to say. So here's our paragraph about aerobic exercise. So I would start reading before I do anything, just to understand overall, what is the paragraph saying? So it says, Jeremy and Nancy believe exercise is important. They always go to an exercise class 3 times a week. Aerobic exercise is a special kind of exercise. It increases the heart rate. Fast walking, running, and dancing, B, all examples of aerobic exercise. So as I'm reading this, most of this sounds to me like facts, right? So I'm going to keep that in mind when I go fill in those blanks. When the heart beats fast, it carries more oxygen to the muscles. Muscles grow negative, so don't or aren't, right? If they get negative oxygen. So still, I feel like this is facts, truths, things that are always true. Okay. So let's do this section first. So Jeremy and Nancy. I'm going to say Jeremy and Nancy believe. We have 2 people, so it's like they, right? So they believe. With believe, it's a non-action verb, so I don't even have to wonder, should I put ing or not? Because for non-action verbs, you never put ing. So I'm going to automatically use the simple present. So Jeremy and Nancy believe exercise is important. Now we have the word always. So with always, I'm thinking what? Habit, right? So habit, I'm going to use simple present. They always go to an exercise class 3 times a week. Aerobic exercise is a special kind of exercise. It, I'm going to say, increases. So I'm explaining the meaning of aerobic exercise. So this is a fact. And I have that it right here. So remember, when you have that singular, that he, she, it, in the simple present, I need to add that S at the end. Increases the heart rate. Fast walking, running, and dancing. So I have be. So be is a non-action verb. So again, I don't have to think about ing or no ing. There's never ing. I just have to match my subject to my verb. So I have 3 subjects. So that's going to be like they. They are. All examples of aerobic exercise. When the heart beats fast, it, here I'm going to put carries. Carries. So I'm again looking at a fact. Every time the heart beats, it carries, right? So you could think of it as a fact, or you could think of it as a habit. Now with this Y, since I have a consonant and then a Y, I'm going to change that Y to IES. If you are not familiar with your spelling rules. They're on page 14 in your book. So you can take a minute to read about when you change the Y to IES and when you don't change it. And there's a few other spelling rules. So check out page 14 if you really don't remember that. Okay? So it carries more oxygen to the muscles. So here I have negative and grow. So we're talking about a fact. What do muscles always do, right? So muscles grow, but negative. So the negative of grow would be don't grow, right? Muscles, or you could say do not grow. It's plural, so I'm going to use do, not does, right? Do not or don't grow if they don't get oxygen. So that's my negative for get. So remember that those simple present verbs are made negative with don't and doesn't. Right now, okay, so now I have this signal right now. That's telling me, okay, maybe we're changing from facts to present progressive, to right now, things that are happening. Let's see. Right now, Jeremy and Nancy. So negative sit. So if it was regular, I would say Jeremy and Nancy are sitting at home. So I have that be verb, are, right? So my negative would be are not sitting. You could also say aren't sitting at home. They are in exercise class. So we started by talking about right now, and so it looks like they're still talking about right now. There's no reason to change. So right now, they're not sitting at home. Right now, they are in exercise class. They are listening to fast, lively music. They are learning special dance steps. And they are moving different parts of their body to the rhythm. Okay, so all of these are clearly present progressive because they're all talking about right now. This next one I'm going to think about a little bit. Have. Normally, have is a non-action verb. I have a book. I have a friend. That means ownership, right? When you own something. But what's the meaning here? They have a great time. That's the other meaning of have. Experiencing, right? So when you're talking about ownership, that really isn't an action. So that's a non-action meaning. But when you're talking about experiencing a good time, that is an action. So I'm going to use the present progressive. They are having a great time. And if you're not sure about any of those things I was talking about, go back to the module about present time and review about action, non-action verbs, about how to make negatives. So you'll need to know all of that stuff for your quiz. So I submit, and I got a good score.